bless America. Hi, I'm Harley. Tonight on Harley's Sleepytime Cinema Selection, I'm going way back to 1993, and the version of this movie that, well, it's not a version of the movie. The format that I have this movie on is VHS, going way, way back. So, the movie The Good Son came out, like I said, in 1993. Stars Macaulay Culkin and Elijah Wood. As a side note, this was one of the last years that Macaulay Culkin made movies as a child star. He did have several more movies come out. I think 3 movies coming out in 1994, and then he took a nice long hiatus. His dad really pushed for him to make this movie. It was almost released twice before he starred in it. Both times they had a pretty famous child actor at the time, and they filmed scenes from it, but would run into obstacles along the way. And for whatever reason, the kids would age, like they would noticeably age, and so they'd have to recast and start over. So Macaulay Culkin, I don't know if he wanted to do this movie, but his dad pushed for him to do this movie and threatened to pull him out of Home Alone 2 if he couldn't do this movie. So for whatever reason, his dad was really into it, which is kind of disturbing if you know what this movie is about. Basically, Macaulay Culkin plays Henry, and then Elijah Wood plays, Mark. Mark's mom is recently passed, and his dad has to go on a business trip out of town to Tokyo, I believe. And so Mark goes to stay with his aunt and uncle, and his cousin is Henry. He doesn't really know them that well, but he knows that they have also had some recent tragedy, as one of the children, Henry's brother, has passed. And so the whole family is kind of mourning together over these losses and pulls together to kind of, help try to get through it. While Mark is staying with the family, he and Henry start to develop a bond because they're about the same age. And Mark discovers that Henry is really not a good kid. He is a sociopath, really. He has no guilt. He wants what he wants when he wants it, and he will manipulate anyone who's in his way into getting what he wants. And he has no guilt about it at all. He feels nothing really towards it. It's a really good movie. It's really disturbing. I actually have not watched this since having children. When this first came out, I was just learning about nature versus nurture. If you're not familiar with the concept, it's basically, are we products of our environment, or are we born a certain way? And so there's a lot of different research that's been done on it. Some really cruel projects done in, I want to say, the late 50s, early 60s, where they took babies and basically isolated them. Some babies got, normal, like they got food, they got, everything they needed, diaper changes, whatnot, but they also got affection, like held and talked to and stuff. And other babies were separated, still given food and diaper changes and whatnot, but not given the same amount of affection and talking to, and those babies didn't thrive. So there's a huge argument that we need more than just food and water. We are social animals. We need our people. So it's a very interesting thought process. This movie really plays upon that, and it's one of the first times that I can remember really seeing a young sociopath. I remember seeing movies that had like adults who would kill at random and for their own whims and devices. But this was the first time that I ever saw one as a child, and it really kind of got me to thinking, like, are these people that way their whole lives? I guess up until that point, I'd kind of assumed that sociopaths, like something happened to them to make them that way. And this kind of makes me believe that maybe, no, they are born that way, that there are some people who have, for whatever reason, no capacity to feel all of those extra emotions, I guess they would call them extra emotions, but love and empathy and sympathy and, you know, basically being the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes and feel what they feel. So I'm going to try to be brave. We'll see if I actually can go through with watching this, because I am very familiar with this. I watched this movie a lot when I was younger, but the fact that I have children now and knowing what goes on in this movie and how this movie ends, it kind of honestly makes my stomach turn. It makes me a little nauseous to think about it. There's another movie that maybe I'll do tomorrow that I also have not watched since having children. I don't know, I can't remember offhand if I've done it yet or not, so I'll have to go back and look at the list and see if it's one that I've reviewed for you guys. So, The Good Son, go watch it. Let me know how you feel, and we'll talk soon. Also, big spoiler, this is the only movie I've ever seen where on the back of the box they pretty much give away the whole movie. I mean, if you've ever seen this before, the like final scenes are right there on the back of the box. And I don't know if it's because it's the 20th century selections addiction or whatever. I mean, I don't even know what that means, but I know it's got some fancy letters on the top. Yeah. Anyhow, it's a good, I mean, it's right there. All right there. I've never seen that before. Also, apparently, this was bought at the Record Exchange. I don't even think that's a place that exists anymore. It's like Blockbuster Video. Where'd that go? Anyways, make sure to subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. Give me a like. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And I will comment back. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.